it's Sarah, back with another YA book review for the month of March. I am very excited to introduce you guys to a book that was my first 5-star rating of the new year. I absolutely adored Leslie Vedder's The Bone Spindle. Now, it is a fantasy YA retelling of the Sleeping Beauty myth. Now, as you can see, this copy looks a little different than the one we have available here at the Westlincoln Public Library. I loved it so much I had to go out and get my own specialized copy, but ours is here sitting on the shelf waiting for you. I checked it out, and I had it out for maybe like a week, and I read it in 3 days, and I read it twice because of absolutely how enthralling this story is. Now, for those of you who are curious, the main characters we're going to be following in this book are Shane, a disgraced, exiled ex-king who is very much the bronze of the dynamic duo. She would rather use her axe to solve her problems rather than use her head like Falor. Falor is an ex-treasure hunter who, through a betrayal of her old partner, no longer sees the world the way she used to and has given up on treasure hunting. In a sense, she is now essentially a full-time wanderer. For a year, she has been going around the land in an attempt to try and break a curse that she has fallen under. Now, the two are not what you would call friends. They are more associates or acquaintances first. They butt heads a lot because of their jarring personalities, but I think it makes them very endearing because they definitely do care about each other. They would never betray their partner to get out of a quick cash grab, and I think it's really nice to portray that banter along the way. It's very fun. What happens essentially to start off the catalyst of this book is Shane introduces Falor, Phi, to a treasure map that is said to lead them to the lost city, or a lost trove of what's supposed to be a remnant cache of the city of Andar. Now, Andar was a mighty kingdom in which ruled by four powerful witches. When the youngest prince, named Briar Rose, was born, he was frail and sickly. And in order to ensure his health, they went to the last and one of the most powerful witches, the Spindle Witch. She assured that she could heal him in exchange for several magical tomes that the kingdom of Andar guarded. And the queen, desperate, agreed without realizing quite what she had done. When the prince would turn 16, he would prick his finger on a spindle and essentially become corrupted and under the control of the Spindle Witch. To stop that, the other great witches did their best to use their magic to change this. The Dream Witch essentially put him in a spell along with the rest of the kingdom. I won't say too much about the other witches' spells and their magic because it's a very interesting concept. But the entire kingdom, when he turned 16 and did in fact prick his finger, fell asleep. And the magical city of Andar fell to ruin. Everyone is still asleep, the royal family, the prince, Briar Rose, and the entire kingdom became guarded by a massive forest of thorns. No one had been able to get into it for years, like 100 years. And it's said that there was a legend that one day a savior would come and kiss the prince to wake him up, much along the lines of the Sleeping Beauty myth. Now, when these two head to this enchanted trove of relics that they're hoping to find, the deal is, as per the usual agreement, Shane gets anything shiny, Phi gets the books, because she cares more about magic. She is the researcher. Shane cares more about money. And when they get there, through a series of puzzle-solving quests and riddles they have to undo, Falor is basically given the curse as well of the sleeping curse. And she finds out after she pricks her same finger on that same spindle, she is also going to be the one that has to wake up Briar Rose from his enchanted sleep. And in doing so, she can actually now essentially see his spirit as he travels along with her. Shane can't see him, so that's fun for having a one-sided conversation. Originally, she has absolutely nothing, she wants nothing to do with this. She is not a big believer in destiny and she hates curses because she's already dealing with a heck of a doozy of her own. But realizing that Andar could potentially hold the key to curing her original curse, she agrees to go along, free Briar Rose, and under the guise that one, she would like to help, and two, Briar Rose promises her access to all of their legendary spellbooks, which might be exactly what she needs. Shane goes along because she's still her partner at this point, and she feels bad about the idea of leaving her to die in the Forest of Thorns, having never traveled alone by herself. Shane is also running from her own demons. She was essentially she was going to be king of a ruler of essentially kind of like a Viking clan, because she was the eldest of a set of twins. She was engaged to be married and everything, but realizing that she really wasn't suited for that life and that her fiance was actually in love with her younger twin brother, she fled and was cast out. And ever since then, she's pretty much just been a mercenary for hire, doing some less than savory things to get by, which troubles her greatly. Working with people like Fi kind of make her feel better. She prefers that to work for some shadier folks. And along the way, as they get closer to Andar, Fi bonds with Briar and slowly does get closer to them. And it is revealed that whoever breaks the sleeping curse on Briar, they're supposed to fall in love, and she's not down for that because she was betrayed by her ex-treasure partner, who was also her lover at the time, and she was hurt very deeply by this. So she's not down for the idea of being bound to another person for all eternity, whether it has to do with love or otherwise. On the other hand, Shane actually meets up with a witch on the road as they are being pursued by witch hunters who goes by the name of Red, and she's instantly fascinated by her as well. So the two main relationship dynamics for this book have Briar and Fi, and then Shane and Red. And we don't really get to learn a ton about Red's character until later in the book, but I love the dynamic between Shane and Red. I think they're a lot of fun. There's a lot of great character development in this book as well. Fi is a woman with a lot of trauma, and she wears it very inwardly. She does not talk about her feelings easily. Briar does not force her ever to discuss these issues or what's going on in her past. He understands she's a very private person, but slowly just encourages her to work herself out of her shell. Shane is loud, boisterous, and says whatever is on her mind at any given thought. And Red is sharp as a whip and very sarcastic, and they balance each other out great. I was definitely not expecting the ending, and it caught me for a whirl, and I have no idea when the second book comes out, and I'm at a loss as to what to do with my time until then. Leslie Vedder is an incredible author, and I cannot wait to see what they have in common or what they have in store for the next book. I really can't recommend this enough. The world building is gorgeous. You really feel completely captivated by everything that goes on, and you feel a genuine sense of urgency and concern for the characters. You feel tied up with their stories, and you want to see them come to a satisfying conclusion. I love the romance. It is sappy at times, it is heartbreaking at others. There is definite healthy communication throughout the book, and then there is not, and I can't reveal too much about it because there is spoilers. I definitely say out of the two relationships, I most am involved in Briar's and Fi's, probably just because they get more page time, but I definitely see potential in Shane and Red as well. So if you are interested in reading The Bone Spindle by Leslie Vedder, we have our copy here at the West Lincoln Public Library. Come check us out. I will be back next month for another book review. Stay tuned for that, and until then, have a good week, guys.